There was so much that was said about the comparisons, if you will, between Christchurch and what we expect here, what we've been told and learned about the aerospace threat here in the central U.S. I mean, some of the things, like the February 11th, it being a very rare, very large event, the sequencing type events, whether it was main shock or aftershocks, that was taking place over that period of time, those are all exactly what we talk about with 1811, 1812. We say 1811, 1812, but you really think about what that means. It was essentially earthquakes that started in December of 11 and culminated with the main shocks in February of 12, but all the aftershocks that went on for 6 and 7 months later. The similarities are eerie with what was just presented with Christchurch. Some of the other differences that I think we need to be paying attention to, where they had about a $50 billion loss, our models are projecting about a $200 billion loss spread over an 8-state area. So we've got a lot of work to do in reducing the vulnerability. I'm pleased to announce that the Honorable Mayor of Shelby County, Mr. Mark Luttrell, is here, and he's going to talk a little bit about, welcome you, but talk a little bit about the things he's doing as mayor to help us in addressing the risk and the vulnerability in Memphis and Shelby County.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to spend just a few minutes with you. I apologize. I think I was originally supposed to give welcoming remarks, but after seeing this great presentation, I think my remarks will be more a call to action for what you have seen, because there's not a great deal of difference between the situation in Christchurch and what we are facing right here in Shelby County. First of all, I want to thank the University of Memphis for always being accessible for events like this and for the fine work that's being done as a research university. I've stated so often that I think University of Memphis is at the forefront as an urban research institution in the United States, and this is certainly another example of the farsightedness and the vision that the University of Memphis has. To our Office of Preparedness, USGS, FEMA, TEMA, all of the partners that have made this conference what it is very much appreciated by those of us in government service. Shortly after becoming mayor of Shelby County back in 2010, I received a briefing on our vulnerability just in this area. And folks, I'm preaching to the choir somewhat when I say that we are a vulnerable community when it comes to our susceptibility to many of the same problems and issues that were faced in New Zealand back in 2011. Think about it for a moment. Just as you're driving home this afternoon, think about all the bridges and the overpasses that you will see that in the event of an event like this would paralyze this community. Also, think about the difficulty that we have in really gaining the appreciation of the public of our vulnerability in this area. Just recently, within the last year, we were going through a series of hearings in our county government on building codes and bringing them up to seismic standards, really exceeding the standards in certain areas as it related to residential construction, to commercial facilities, to existing buildings, and all of the like structures across the county. And people that you would think would know better would raise questions about, now, when was the last time that we had a significant event? Well, what are the odds of us having it again? Why are we wasting our time and our energy on questions such as this? Well, I wish we'd had this presentation then, that we could show that no, we can't predict, no, we can't say with any degree of certainty what will happen or the magnitude of what will happen. But what we can say with some certainty is that we're vulnerable and that we're not really prepared. And I think the challenge that we have here today for all of you is that not only do we sit here and absorb the facts and figures of the catastrophic potential for earthquakes in this area, but that we leave here with some resolve as to how we're going to address this going forward. I'm very pleased with the initiatives that Bob Nations and our Office of Preparedness have undertaken in this area to at least start the process of the dialogue. We've had great success in reaching out to the faith community to assist us in sheltering areas in the event of natural disaster. We have worked diligently to really emphasize the sheltering in place concept of how important it is on an individual basis and within your own homes to have the necessary supplies and the necessary safeguards in place just within your own residence. It starts at the small level. It starts individually with each of you. It starts with our faith community. It starts with our businesses. And then collectively we move toward the realization that we are indeed vulnerable, that we're not as prepared as we need to be, and that part of our task is not only to become prepared, but to certainly to educate the greater public on the challenges that are ahead of us. That's what sessions like this are all about. And for those of you who are here, thank you so much for the commitment that you have made. Help us in county government as we continue to partner with organizations throughout the community to really raise the awareness in this area. And any opportunity that you have to really raise that awareness in public or private settings, feel free to do that with our encouragement. Let's leave here today challenged. As you do drive home this afternoon, count those bridges, look at those overpasses, and think about what we can do more as we move forward from here. Once again, to all the sponsors of this event, thank you so much. Let's leave here challenged and ready to go and do even more. Thank you so much.